Hi, I am Centimus Prime, and here I will be reviewing the Transformers Studio Series 86 Deluxe Class Perceptor. Now, starting off, we will be taking a look at the figure himself, and I will say he looks really nice. He looks perfectly accurate to the movie and the show that he's from. Take a close look at his head. His head has been done nicely. Let's get that out of the way. His head has been done very nicely. Do get a little bit of gold there, and the eyes have been painted nicely. Do get some. It's a simple yet nicely done head sculpt. And same can go for the shoulder mounted microscope. Yeah, let's go with that. The shoulder mounted microscope has been nicely detailed. Looks pretty good. Do get a nice amount of details for this iconic little feature of his. The rest of him does look pretty simple. Here's how he looks from the back. Very neat. Take a close look at his chest. This whole chest, this whole front section here is a single translucent, is a single clear piece with the Autobot symbol printed on the base of the torso, and I do kind of like this. And I do kind of like this. It's sort of gives an extra little bit of detail. Very nice. Now he does get a little bit of paint around here, a little bit of paint in the abdomen. Very nice. Take a look at his arms. His arms look pretty simple. You do get a standard looking like blocky shoulders with a little bit of black details up here, a little bit of black paint up here. Down here on his forearms, you do get his thighs and forearms done in this nice nice shade of blue. You do get like 3 of these like knob things, one up here and one on each of his forearms. They're completely molded and painted on to these parts, so none of them are able to swivel or rotate. They're really just there for details. And then we go down to his fists. Pretty simple fist. Nicely done. Beautifully sculpted. Get all kinds of nice little greebly details and panel lining. Very nice. Do get down here and on the insides of the legs, you do get some tread detailing. That will be important during like a transformation of some sort, I'm sure. We do get a big old gap in the back of his back. I do notice this. A little panel that would fold out, and I feel like this would benefit from like a panel that would like fold out to cover this gap. Would be beneficial for this figure. but that's not bad. I don't know, a panel here would have been nice. Aside from that little gap, the rest of his back looks beautifully done. Very nice. There are all kinds of little details and stuff. As for articulation, let's get that out of the way. His head, his head is on a ball joint. Of course, you can swivel his head around. It's 360. Get a little bit of wiggle waggle. Can look up a little bit, down, not at all. But you can look. I guess you can utilize the transformation joint to have him look farther, but that. I don't know. Actually, you can actually do that. You can utilize the transformation joint hinge and have it so he's looking up. For the shoulder-mounted cannon, it can ratchet this way. It has 2 clicks of room to work with. This can untap. This hinge thing can untap, and you can hinge it out. And it's also on the additional ratchet over here. That's a very nice, loud, clicky ratchet. So it's on this double hinge thing. So you can do strange things with it, I guess. And let's see. Oh yes. If you tab this into this little slot here, like so, you can apparently hide away his shoulder mounted microscope, or whatever it is. But first of all, you would have he would have a large microscope hanging off of his left shoulder blade. And second of all, it would really take away from his look, because that's his iconic feature or something. So I just would leave it like that. Oh, another thing I would like to mention is that although you can't use this as a real microscope, sorry for blinding you, you can actually shine a light through. That's actually using translucent pieces. So you can actually shine a light through there, and you can actually have light shining through there. It still won't work as a actual microscope, but it's better than not being able to shine light through it. It's better than nothing, I guess. Let's see. Articulation. So we already covered that. His shoulders are on a ball joint. So you have all the range. It's on this arm, it's slightly more hindered due to microscope, but that ball joint, it can go good range. He has a bicep swivel, very, very expressive bicep swivel. A elbow that bends 90. An elbow that bends 90. His wrists don't swivel, but you can use the transformation hinge to bring them in a little bit. And and I'll get to that later. But anyways, he has a waist rotation, pretty unhindered. His legs can bend up that far. Good range. Can bend back to that far. Again, good range. Move the arm out of the way. He can split. He can do splits. He can kick out. Very nice. He has a thigh rotation. Cool. And here's an interesting thing. He has, and thanks to this transformation joint, he can do that. You can break his legs if you want, but why would you do that to Perceptor? I will say, even though these hinges can hold some poses, and I like to point this out because it has little nubs, and I think the reason why those nubs are there is so they knew I think the reason why the nubs are there is when they were designing it, they wanted to have it so when you have it straight, it's sort of like tabs in to have the leg like swoop in, so it wouldn't be annoying. So the leg wouldn't be so annoying to mess with. And I kind of get that a little bit, but it's very, it's very hard to notice that little swoop. It's barely there, but hey, it still holds. Good thing fortunately the strength, the friction of the hinge is perfectly fine, so it's not as annoying, but still. But anyways, knee can move a good bit past 90. That's nice. And he has a good ankle tilt, like a 90-degree ankle tilt. Very nice. Very nice. Nicely articulated. In terms of articulation, he is missing swivels at the wrists, but due to the transformation, I guess it's not that necessary. I will say on my copy, so when you do flip this in for the transformation, they actually painted this black piece over so it would match the rest of the form. That's nice. However, on my copy, they have a little bit of that blue paint on this part right here. It's not a deal breaker for me. It's really hard to notice, but still something I've noticed. Now, moving on to accessories. He only comes with one actual accessory, and that's his weapon. It's a simply sculpted pistol that I just dropped. There we go. Again, it's a simple little pistol. Nicely sculpted though. and it doesn't really look like it's shaped to hold blast effect pieces, but it can hold blast effect pieces anyways. So anyways, you can just peg it onto his hand, and you go pew pew, and he has a little weapon, nice little weapon. And if you want, you could also, he also has like a port. He has 5mm ports, one here, one here. Of course on his other arms. He also has one right there. And he has one on his back. Neat. He also has that little 3mm port where you can actually stick a Figma stand into. Not that he would need a Figma stand, he can perfectly stand on his own. Now he does come with his gun, but because this guy is a Studio Series figure, he also comes with his very own backdrop. Very nice. Take a look at his backdrop. His backdrop looks really nice. I'm not gonna touch upon this too much. I'm not gonna stick with this too long. I will say I do like the little explosions in the back. This looks like the Autobot City when it was under attack during the movie. Very interesting. You can even stand them up on this red base thing right here. That even tells you which movie this scene is from and which character it's from. Very nice. Get that out of the way. Put the gun in. Now moving on to size comparisons. For size comparison, here he is next to Siege, Centimus Prime, my Siege OC. Here he is next to the Legacy Evolution Crosscut. He's pretty short compared to that guy. And here he is next to his fellow Studio Series figure, the Core Class Spike Witwicky. Let's actually do this properly, get my hand out of there, and then grab it. And with that out of the way, now let's get on to the transformation. Get the gun out of the way, fold the hands in. Going to swivel his head around, and then flip this in. Again, a panel back here would have done a good bit. Would have been a little piece that went a long way. Oh yeah. Flip this down. Flip these toes down. Pull his shoulders down so they untab from these red tabs. Do the same on this side. Okay. So bend this shoulder mounted thing 90 degrees, and then move this red thing up like so, and then move this other red thing up like so, and then this red thing will tab into this blue section, like so. Pretty simple. Then what you do is you rotate the arms on the ball joints, and then just accordion it down, tap these slots into those red slots into these blue grooves, like so, and do the same with the other arm. Then make him do the splits, bend his thighs 90 degrees, and then utilize those transformation hinges to bend these forward. And then rotate this down. Then there you have Perceptor in his microscope mode. It's a simple little thing. It's a simple transformation, and it's a simple little thing. Very nice. Pretty simple. And heck, if you want, you can like bend. You can have these bend so that these are like, so like these are like back, and have it like sitting like that. I'm not sure how important rotating these are, but I think they're supposed to be like this. Again, it looks very nice. Very simple. It's a very simple thing, but it's very nice. Here it is from the back. It's just Perceptor all folded up in a certain way to look like a microscope of some sort. Very nice. Very nice indeed. I do like how, can you hear that? I do like how satisfying that ratchet sounds. Very nice. Very nice. I will say that, like, it does feel solid. The legs do, like, flop or do, like, articulate around a bit. You can, like, have it in certain ways. Again, very nice. It ain't anything too impressive, but it's very nice. I guess you can, like, tap the gun, plug the gun there so it can, like, shoot the bacterias. It's a simple little thing. It's a simple little thing. Very nice. For vehicle mode comparisons, here he is next to Skids. Here he is next to a fellow Studio Series 86 character, Studio Series Brawn. And here he is, Skids, Brawn. And here he is next to his Walmart 2-for-1 pack mate, the Bumblebee movie Wheeljack. So there you have that. And now, with this mode out of the way, let's transform him again. Because he's sort of a triple changer in that sense. Very nice. So to transform him from his microscope mode to his tank mode, first you rotate legs, bend these, rotate these so that these smooth edges are facing out this way. Okay, so rotate these round. So what you do is you tab these pegs into these ports up here, like so. And I think the rotation, no, these are actually supposed to be like this. You see? That way. When you tap it like that, it lines up perfectly. So like this. Pretty simple. Pretty simple. And here we have Perceptor in his what everyone calls tank mode. That is literally it. You just tap his legs in. You just rotate and tap his legs in. Very simple. Honestly, the hardest thing about this transformation is figuring out figuring out what orientation you need to rotate his hips in. Again, a pretty simple transformation, and it looks very simple. Very, very nice. No wheels, so he doesn't roll. But I will say, this to me does not look like a tank. You want to know what this looks like to me? This to me looks like Perceptor transforming from microscope to telescope. Eh? With the treads, he's a mobile telescope. He can transform from looking at the smallest little bacterias and little like scientific bacterial microscopic stuff to looking out at the stars like a telescope, and he can move. Of course that's just my opinion on what this is, because I don't see Perceptor as transforming into a tank. Like he's a man of science. But if you want, you can like attach a little gun onto him, so he can shoot in his telescope, in his mobile telescope mode if he wants. If he needs to. Because this third mode, it doesn't make sense for it to be a tank, but it does a telescope. A mobile telescope. That's my opinion on this. Of course, here he is next to Skids. Here he is next to Brawn. And here he is next to Bumblebee Wheeljack. So there you have that. So, final thoughts. I really like this guy. Very nice. Obviously, I do have a couple of nitpicks with it. Mostly with this. I will say it would have been a panel down there would have been beneficial down there. But overall, he does a very nice job at being Perceptor. His robot mode is pretty good. I really like it. He just does everything he needs to do. He does everything I would want a Perceptor to be, including this telescope mode. And that'll be it. And I guess so overall, I do really like this guy. And that'll be it. So if you enjoyed this video, consider to like and subscribe, and maybe even comment if you want. And of course, I will be posting again sooner or later.